Okay, part two to how not to offend black men and women when trying to help. And I should have said this first. Okay, before you even get started in regards to some of the things that I talked about in the first video, you have to set the tone. What kills me is whenever we talk about black relationships, people want to act like it's, that unofficial conversation, that not so serious secondary type of conversation, after we're done talking about politics and the economy, let's talk about black relationships. Unfortunately, we are past that point, and it's a serious problem, okay? And I think people have to understand the seriousness of this issue. Even on YouTube, I don't think a lot of people understand the whole serious problem. Too many people are trying to have fun and, be emotional, or try to get one side to get upset, or try to belittle the other side, and people don't have a serious approach. Literally, everybody loses. So you have to do a good job of setting the tone. If you have to, talk about, how it's cool to interracially date and marry, right? Nothing wrong with that. But talk about what it means in the long run. A lot of times, people don't want to accept that. People, for whatever reason, a lot of black men and women have this fantasy that it's still black love, even though they're with a non-black partner. Okay, and somehow, they haven't really left. Whether you got forced out or you choose to leave, leaving is leaving. Your family path is going in a different direction. Okay? Your kids are going to grow up seeing the world completely different. And once again, it's not a knock on those people. It's just the reality. Okay? Even with my own family, I got, including my siblings, there's 15 of us. 7 of them are biracial, and all of them are getting older. Me and my siblings were the oldest because my mother's the oldest, but I see them getting older, and they're going in completely different directions. Okay, a lot of my black cousins are going in one direction, and then the biracial ones are going in a different way. Right? And, I love everybody the same way. It's just the reality. People have to understand that. Also, talk about how we are the least likely to have a family. When they talk about how black women are the most unmarried population, especially if they have a degree and they're the least likely to have children or whatnot, that's also a reflection on you as a man. Not entirely, but it's there. So they're saying that black people can't form families because guess what? It takes a black woman and a black man to form a black family. Simple as that. I look at the stats and people don't understand how the stats also implicate me. I don't sit back and say, ha ha ha, oh, black women are doing this. Oh, 88% are doing this. 1% is doing this. It's a reflection on me as well. So if it hurts you, it hurts me. I take no joy in half of the shit that I read. Real, unreal, exaggerated, unexaggerated. I take no glory in that. I take no pride. Just like if somebody said, 50% of black men are incarcerated. You as a woman, black woman, shouldn't take pride in that. That should hurt you. That should bother you. Okay, so you also need to talk about how all these stats reflect on each other. Right? It affects the whole community. When people look at the strength of Indian people or Asian people, why? Because their women are strong and their men are strong. Simple as that. So if one is weak, guess what? It's going to influence the other one. Oh, what are you doing to your woman? Look how, she's leading the way in this category. Or if the men fall off, oh, what are the women doing? How come they're not, helping the men get to where they need to be? It's a reflection. Okay, talk about the whole idea of what the civil rights movement was for. Okay, it was for the whole idea so black people can have families. Yes, part of that was, us being able to, get these corporate jobs and these high-paying positions. But it was saying, hey, we have the right to form our own families. We have the right to go out here, earn a decent living, and not have to worry about not being able to support a family. Or I get killed and, my family has no son. Or my family has no father. It was for the formation of black families. If, the people who are actually behind the civil rights movement would have saw what was happening with us today, they would have said, man, I'm going to live my life. Forget that. I'm not going to fight and, lay my life on the line just so, my grandchildren right? Mind you, these people are still alive so that my grandchildren can boast about having a good job and how he's going to go get a white girl. Literally, the efforts of the civil rights movement are going away. All the other minority groups that never want to thank black people, but the people who also benefited from the civil rights movement, all the other minority groups who also had no rights and who were treated like shit, right? Who pretty much came here and took more advantage of what black people did, okay? For them, they're sitting here saying, thank you, yeah, I went to college, I have this corporate job and I have a family. So it's sad, it's almost embarrassing that other minority groups came here, took advantage of what we did, and the people who should be benefiting the most for it don't even realize that. That's pretty shameful. Right? So you have to set the tone. So you have to include all of that so people can get off the whole idea that it's fun, it's joking, I'm going to sit back and be an asshole, laugh about it. Nah. Like, people have to be serious. It's not a joke anymore, at least not to me, and if it's not a joke to you, you have to share that with people. Okay? It's not a game. Like I said in the last video, I don't know, did I say in the last video? I said it in some video, and I said it a couple of times. I don't want to be the exceptional black person, the exceptional black family. People look at the Obamas, look at that exceptional black family, when that should be the standard family. People should look at the Obamas and say, okay, what's new? People see a white family or Asian family or Indian family driving down the street at Sizzlers or Denny's, and nobody's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what they do. You see a black family and you're like, whoa, I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, that's me. Let me see a black family. I'm like, wow. Especially if they're younger. I'm not talking about the older generation. I'm talking about younger. You were born in the 80s. Wow, you have a family? You guys are together? Everybody has the same last name? Kudos to you. Everybody, pat yourself on the back. Dinner's on me. We shouldn't be that. That shouldn't be the exception. That should be the rule. So, like I said, you got to put people in perspective so that they can soak in what you're trying to say. So, y'all take it easy. Take care. God bless.